Hello everybody and welcome back to another video on the channel. Hope you guys are all doing well, and since the reception on last video was pretty good and I promised it at the end, today I'm going to be covering possibly my favorite FNaF fan game of all time, Night At Flumpty's 2. Okay, yeah, the first and the third Night At Flumpty's sure are great FNaF fan games, both in their own respects, made with a lot of care and attention. However, I do think the second one goes above and beyond. Whilst playing Night At Flumpty's 2 in 2023, as well as looking at it in a bit of a technical analysis sort of way, I do still think the game absolutely slaps, even though there is a factor of nostalgia that plays a role. So that is just quickly something I want to mention. With the third game, obviously I had no nostalgia, therefore I'm gonna look at it in a slightly different way than the previous two games. But don't worry, this review will still go on relatively unbiased, so no need to fear there. In fact, the person who should be fearing is the developer of Night At Flumpty's, Jonochrome. My guy should be fearful that an FBI strike team break into his house and arrest him. No, but in all seriousness, whilst making the last Night At Flumpty's video, I was actually unaware of the situation surrounding Jonochrome, all the allegations and controversies around this guy. Basically, summing up the story, he was accused of and ended up admitting having a relationship with a minor. Naughty Jonochrome, should have gone for your age, mate. Since the situation happened, the person who he was in a relationship with actually spoke out about this, claiming that he was in no way grooming them, even though, well, he literally was. But anyway, Jonochrome put out an apology of himself. Jonochrome has gone ahead and turned off all the ads on his channel, and all three of the Night At Flumpty's games are free. So you can still go ahead and play the games without feeling guilty, because it doesn't actually contribute anything to the guy. But anyway, I'm not here to go on babbling about Jonochrome and his relationship with kids. Instead, I'm here to enjoy Night At Flumpty's 2. So let's get straight into the video. So, starting off, just a little bit of background fact. Night At Flumpty's, the original, was released on the 28th of January 2015, and the second one was released actually quite soon after, in the 11th of April 2015. With the first game, it was definitely more of just an inside joke, and seeing how Jonochrome can recreate the original FNaF in his own style in a different software. After its release, the game started to absolutely blow up, especially when big names such as Markiplier on YouTube started covering it. So naturally, wishing to follow all this hype, Jonochrome decided to make a sequel. And that was all great, but there was one big difference between the sequel and the first Night At Flumpty's, and that is expectation. Obviously, Jonochrome wasn't exactly planning on the first game blowing the hell up, so he made it exactly the way he wanted to make it, and not in a way that would necessarily please other players. And then again, Night At Flumpty's 1 is literally just an exact clone of FNaF, using up all the same mechanics except from 1, so it didn't exactly introduce anything new. Whilst people did love the first one, they wanted more, and they were wondering how Jonochrome can recreate this Night At Flumpty's universe in a more different and creative way. So therefore, the developer had a lot more expectations shoved onto them when making this game. Let's just see how much of a good job of that they ended up doing. Spoiler alert, just look at the title, they did a pretty good job. Interestingly enough, the initial idea of being inside of a room and having a light switch to toggle on and off actually came from one of Jonochrome's nightmares. So pretty much Jonochrome was inside his parents' basement, I think, or somewhere, it doesn't really matter, but there were different characters, monsters peering through the hallway, and in order to not be seen, he would have to switch the lights off. And the whole exposure meter thing is actually something he took from a Mario game. And during initial development of the second game, his idea for Grotesque the Clown was just to be another wind-up mechanic similar to the marionette in FNaF 2, however that's kind of been done to death by the FNaF community, and instead he wanted something new, so he introduced the patience countdown for Grotesque the Clown. Just like the first game, there are quite a bit of pop culture references, again mostly to do with gaming. In your office kind of area, on the right hand side, you have Freddy Fazbear up on a wall, you have Piglet opened up, you have a Coca-Cola can, as well as a Coca-Cola bottle. And on one of the cameras, you have Luigi, well, I don't even know what happened to this poor bastard. So the references were slightly more ambitious this time, maybe a little bit too ambitious, as Jonochrome did end up getting copyright striked a few times, and in the new version of this game, most of the references are taken out. Oh yeah, did I mention new version? Once again, just like the first one, there are two versions, the old one being the superior in my opinion. In this game, we've kind of upgraded from the first one, as we now have 7 characters to play around with. This includes Flumpty, Birthday Boy Blam, the Owl, Grunkfuss the Clown, the Red Man, the Eyesore, and Golden Flumpty. Flumpty, the big boy himself, attacks from either the left or the right hand side of the corridor, doesn't really matter which one, as he ends up at your corridor anyway, and you just have to turn off the light when you see him about to peekaboo you. When I say peekaboo you, I mean that Flumpty is slightly different than the other characters who come at you from the corridor. Instead of instantly looking in and increasing your exposure by a crap ton, instead he kinda puts his hands over his eyes for a split second, being a nice guy, giving you an extra second to flick the lights off. Unfortunately, homie Birthday Boy Blam is a bit of a menace, and he just looks straight into your office, increasing your exposure. So make sure you keep an eye on him on the cameras to make sure it doesn't go up. His attack pattern is almost identical to Flumpty's. Next up, we have a brand new character, the Owl, who actually replaces the Beaver from the first game. According to the lore, the Beaver fell in the toilet and unfortunately drowned, so now the Owl replaces him. Now, if you're actually gonna go ahead and play the game, then make sure you listen in closely, because this guy has single-handedly given me the most amount of deaths out of any of the characters in the game. There are 2 big vents that lead into your office, one grey coloured and one reddish coloured. You can physically see both vents in your office as well as on the cameras. There are buttons either side of the vent allowing you to close them, however there is a little bit of cheeky string across them, so that allows you to only close one at a time. But don't worry, this doesn't use up power or anything, so you can have one closed all the time. The Owl resides inside of the toilet, which you can see in the cameras resting upon a urinal. When the Owl moves into its attack phase, it will leave the urinal, and looking at the camera you will see he is gone. In which case you need to check both the grey and the reddish vents on the camera, and depending on which one is going down, shut that vent. Grunkfuss the Clown attacks through a magical hole just like the last game. However, on the cameras he has a whole room dedicated to just him. During the night around 1 to 2 AM you will see a black hole appearing on the left hand side of the office. This is when you know Grunkfuss is active. On his camera he has a patience meter on the top right hand side, and when it goes down make sure you come off the cameras and switch off the lights, as he will come through the hole and stare at you. The Red Man is back, however now he is not a physical threat and you can't actually see him on the cameras. Instead he will try another way of getting to you by infecting your laptop. You will get sort of a virus notification with a timer on it. Make sure you cancel it before the timer runs out, or else the Red Man will lock your laptop and jumpscare you. The Eyesore, yet again another new character, is similar to Birthday Boy Blam and Flumpty, as in they will come through the same door. The only difference being they only appear around 3 to 4 AM I think. They move a lot more quicker. Oh yeah, and their exposure meter is crazy because, well, it makes sense, they have loads of eyes, so your exposure will absolutely shoot up if they catch you lacking. And finally, last but definitely not least, we have Golden Flumpty. My guy will be in your office flickering in and out of reality, and when he comes out you need to flick the lights off or turn your camera on and off. So there we go, that's pretty much all of the characters sorted out. In addition to this, you also have the laptop to worry about, more specifically the laptop battery. When you have the laptop down and as long as the lights are switched on, you can charge up your battery. If your battery fully deteriorates, then the laptop will completely shut down and have to restart itself, which takes a good few seconds. This game is a lot more complex than the first one and even on par with the third one. So I wish you good luck, especially on hard boiled mode, that thing is a real challenge. But all these interesting mechanics combine together to make such an intricate FNaF fan game. To the surreal atmosphere of your office, to the different interesting characters, and the different ways you have to fend off yourself, it makes for a very cool game. Very unique back in its day and is still very enjoyable nowadays. Once again, beginning the night, Flumpty starts talking to you, this time singing out the mechanics and how you should deal with them. That was a very nice touch, as well as the whole time having the same record player playing this absolute banger. All of the mechanics in the first night proved to be just right, and if you are wishing for an extra bit of challenge whilst not being impossible, go and play some hard boiled mode. Honestly, if you're coming from other FNaF games or just like indie games in general, there's something here for everyone to enjoy. With everything falling into the right place at the right time, with a sprinkle of nostalgia to top it all off, this is definitely my favourite FNaF fan game of all time. So there you guys have it. This is One Night Flumpty's 2, everything it has to offer and exactly why I love it. If you want to go ahead and play the game for yourself, I will be leaving a link down in the description. I can't stress this enough how much I recommend this game to others, so make sure you check it out. But anyway, this has been your boy. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in a future video. Goodbye.